Before we get started with today's show, just wanted to make sure you know that right now, going on over at Equalife, you can save up to 25% off. This is our annual holiday sale. It only happens once per year, where you can save on every single at-home lab test that comes with your health coaching consultation and your personalized wellness plan. Plus, all protocols and nutritional supplements are up to 25% off. Our biggest sale of the year. And this week right now at Equalife, we're actually adding even more fun features to our holiday-based sale. Check it out for daily pop-up offers. And if you're not on that SMS text list, I would definitely do so, because that is where the best offers happen. Again, find out all the details at stevencabral.com/shop. That will take you right to that VIP page. Take care, everyone.
Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here today with a brand new case study. So I've been using the Thursdays show of the Cabral Concept to bring you either an exercise-based topic, a toxicity-based topic, sometimes an interview, and also some case studies. So this is for everyone. You do not need to be an integrative health practitioner in order to hopefully benefit from this information, but these are actually what at-home functional medicine lab tests look like. So what I like to do is simply demystify the process around at-home lab testing and just share with you that this is really easy. It's really simple to complete. And then if you're working just with a qualified health practitioner, like any integrative health practitioner level 2, or a naturopathic doctor that specializes in this type of testing, you can get really great results. You really can, because as you're about to see in a moment, we can pinpoint exactly what's going on with the person's gut based on a simple urine-based lab. So this is called the Candida Metabolic and Vitamins Test that I'm going to go over with you right now. And we're going to go over the first page only. So this has 72 biomarkers, and today we're going to be going through 18 of those 72. And then in subsequent case studies, I'll go over the additional pages as well. But again, it's a very big lab, and so I don't want your eyes to glaze over as we're going through this. But this is extremely important. This is of course a real client from our practice, someone that I personally worked with that came through, and they were suffering from, and I just wrote down, I'm going to actually pull these bullet notes inside of our show notes today. So if you go to stevencabral.com/2127, you'll actually be able to follow along with a PDF of this lab. So again, head on over to stevencabral.com/2127. You'll be able to see the bullets from this individual client. And then you're going to be able to see the symptoms that they came in with. So this is a 36-year-old individual. They came in with brain fog, fatigue, really debilitating fatigue, and low mood. Like, they were really irritable because they were just so exhausted that everything was irritating them. They were just completely overwhelmed. It was such a big part of it, and I totally get it. I was there myself back in the day. So they were not sleeping well. Even though they were tired all day, they couldn't sleep that well at night. And of course, their sleep metrics certainly showed that. They had some skin rashes that they couldn't figure out, almost like a ringworm under the armpits. And they also had some rosacea looking rash on the face as well. The last thing they were dealing with is a little bit of adult acne, just a little bit on the shoulders and some around the chin cheek based area. So that was their main symptoms. They had a little bit of exercise intolerance, which means they felt terrible after exercising, all inflamed the next day, totally worn out and exhausted. So what we did was we ran what's called the starter kit. Again, anybody can run this. It's a couple of snips of hair for the minerals and metals test, and then the Candida Metabolic Vitamins test, which is what we're going to go through now, is first morning urine. That's it, and it's like 30 mLs. You just literally catch a little bit of your urine first thing in the morning, you cap it, and you send it back to the lab. Honestly, it's that easy. So the reason why I share that with you is that these are simple to do. We're not going to go over the minerals and metals test today, but I will link to a previous case study. So if you don't know what that is, head on over to stevencabral.com/2127, and I'll link up the minerals and metals test as well. So different individual. I can't go through all of it. This is an hour consultation we do with the individual along with their protocol, but I will give you their lab results right now, and I'll give you even the protocol that they're going to do. So let's get started. So again, this is also called the organic acids test. And the first 9 markers we're looking at are for yeast and fungal overgrowth. So let me see if I can increase this just a bit in terms of the size, and then you'll be able to see it to a greater degree. Okay. So the first 9 markers that we're looking at are the yeast and fungal markers. So essentially this urine-based test is allowing us to see if any of these metabolites from yeast and fungus are actually showing up in the urine. Because if these metabolites from yeast and fungus are there means there is something that produces these metabolites, and that would be a yeast or fungus. Some people might refer to it as candida or even mold-based markers, and those are both valid, right? Any yeast or fungus. So when you're looking at this lab, and again, I want to really demystify this for everybody, the entire general public, and for our integrative health practitioners. What you're looking for is a low number, all right? So when you're looking at this, it says equal to or less than, and your number is shown as the white diamond here, right? So that's your value. Now, a lot of people for labs, you say you want to be right in the middle. I don't disagree with that. You want to be right in the yellow section or low, because the lower you are, the less of this yeast and fungal-based overgrowth. So when someone is a 000, right, that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Being low on your yeast and fungal-based markers is not a bad thing. Okay, so and you don't need to know what all of these mean. You really don't. Citramalic acid, tartaric acid, arabinose, which is arabinic acid, carboxycitric acid, tricabralic acid. You don't need to know what those mean, okay? Your job is, it's like doing, a taxes. Like, you don't need to know that. Someone could do them for you, tell you what it means if you choose to. However, I want you to be an active participant in your health. So what we're looking at is these yeast and fungal-based markers. The most prevalent one that's typically elevated, if one is, and that's arabinose. It's number 7, okay? So this person has elevated arabinose dictated by the number 23 outside of the normal range, which would be 0 to 20. So this person's showing signs of some yeast-based overgrowth. Now, they have one more elevated. Now, is it wildly out of range? No, but this is called high normal, right? High normal. So this person has an elevated level of tricarbolic acid. That can be yeast overgrowth, but it can also be mold. So it's an important one. And again, your health practitioner will know what this means, but it can also be mold. So it is possible that this person has a mold exposure through food or through the environment, whether it's the outside air or their house. Okay, so that's the first 9. So keep in mind, this person has some elevated markers for yeast overgrowth, yeast and fungus, okay? Now, though, this is where it gets more interesting. We're looking at the bacterial markers, okay? So hyperic acid, 2-hydroxyphenylacetic acid, etc. And we're saying, okay, well, a normal range is somewhere between 0 and 241. Well, this person's a 718. They're at least 4x normal, right? So when you look at that, you say, well, this person certainly has a lot of elevated then bacteria. And the second one should be between a 0.03 and a 0.47. This is a 0.79. Even though it's 0.79, it doesn't seem like it's that big a number, but it's at least 2 to 3x normal. Then we go down to hydroxybenzoic acid. Although not in the red, they are certainly out of range. That's a high normal. Number 13, 4-hydroxyperic acid is normal. And then we go to the beneficial bacteria, which is really interesting. And this is high normal, really out of range. Here's why. Normal is 0 to 0.23. This person's at 2.22. 1/1000th of a point higher, and they would be out of range. So now you're looking at 4 out of the 5 bacterial markers are elevated. This person definitely has some type of bacterial overgrowth. And you might say, well, one of them is beneficial bacteria. Well, I can actually tell you that most of these can be beneficial. That's why they're on this lab. The problem is this: beneficial bacteria, when overgrown, is still overgrowth, and your body can still have inflammation that this person certainly has, poor digestion and absorption, bloating, gas, and many other digestive issues. So we found something big on this lab test, okay? Even if the main complaints were not bloating and gas, because sometimes people don't want to mention that, they had all the others. Skin rashes, right? Can absolutely be tied to the digestive system. Low mood, fatigue, joint stiffness, all of those things, right? Why? Inflammation. Inflammation, if there's going to be one place to look first, it's going to be here in the gut. Now, when we look at the Clostridium markers, these are not markers you want to see elevated in any way, shape, or form. Okay, Clostridia is a bacteria that you do not want to have overgrown. When it does, it can lead to poor absorption and all sorts of inflammatory-based issues. And this first one is Clostridium difficile and a few other Clostridium markers. And theirs is elevated 1 point away from being off the chart, right? From being outside of high normal. So here's the thing. This person, when we look at this lab, certainly has gut dysfunction. They most likely have some type of intestinal permeability. We are going to work with this person on a specific protocol to rebalance the yeast and fungal markers and rebalance the bacteria to remove the overgrowth. Now, very interesting, this person, since they have bacterial overgrowth, even beneficial, should not be using a probiotic. This is why, for people that have digestive issues, they may not want to start with a probiotic right away. And that's because they already have overgrowth of bacteria. Our job is to do a removal process first, and then a restoration of the gut. And it works better than anything we've ever seen. We've been doing this for a very long time. So the protocol that we actually used with this individual would be the citricidal drops with the CBO protocol. I won't go through all of these. Again, you may have heard me talk about them on other shows, other digestive shows. They can all be found at stevencabral.com/shop. However, I want to share with you this first. I would much rather you start with your own starter kit, or at least this Candida metabolic and vitamins test, rather than going right to the protocol if possible, if your finances allow. And here's why. You'll get on a call with a practitioner that takes you through all 72 biomarkers, explains it to you, plus you get a protocol that's actually built for you rather than this individual here, okay? But if you see this, we're using citricidal and we're using the CBO protocol. That is going to do the removal and the replacing of the good bacteria by the time you get to the weeks 6, 8, etc. Then after it's done, we do what's called a heal and seal, a CBO finisher. This is going to heal and seal up that gut wall. Really, really important. So that over time, the body rebalances itself in terms of overall healthy levels of inflammation, hormones, etc. We're also using the daily nutritional support for all of those, the full multivitamin, mineral, electrolytes, and detox factors. We're using omega-3s to help with overall healthy levels of inflammation. And we're using what's called FM zinc because we found that this person had higher levels of copper. And that was really important for the skin, allergies, and other inflammation as well. And then this person also used magnesium because on their hair tissue mineral analysis, which is the other half of this starter kit, we actually found higher calcium to magnesium. And the last thing we found are higher levels of heavy metals. This person had higher levels of aluminum and moderate levels of mercury that we had to make sure that we were able to decrease. In about 6 weeks, we start that protocol. So after they start the CBO, 6 weeks later, so they don't feel overwhelmed, they begin the heavy metal detox. All of these have specific parameters, right? CBO protocol is 12 weeks, and the heavy metal detox is 6 weeks. So the nice thing is that in about 3 to 4 months, this person is well on their way to relieving all of these symptoms, if not dramatically better. And that is essentially how personalized health works. You find out what personally is imbalanced in you. Then you understand your results, working with a practitioner that cares. And then they develop a protocol based on your unique needs. Not more, not less, just exactly what you need. I'm telling you right now, this is the future of health. This is what people need to be doing. This is how they rebalance their body. I was fortunate enough to find doctors over 20 years ago, that were able to introduce me to this type of work. Once I got well, I made this my life's work. Now I'm here to teach others pay it forward, share with them exactly how they can take back their own health. So hopefully this was helpful. I'm happy to answer any questions, always am. Leave those comments in YouTube. Let me know what you thought right below the video on YouTube or on Instagram. Feel free to leave them in the comments too. Again, I'll be doing a new case study approximately every 2 to 3 weeks. So you can find previous case studies at stephencabral.com/podcast. Just click on the case studies topics right there. And while you're there, if you haven't already picked up a copy of my book, The Rain Barrel Effect, please do feel free to do that. It is free. You literally just pay shipping and handling. You can always buy it on Amazon. You can always find it on Amazon, but it's half price over because we are literally paying for the printing. We just ask that you pay for the shipping, and you can find that at stephencabral.com. Again, let me know how I can help. Really, you can find these labs at stephencabral.com/labs. You can find the protocols like the CBO protocol that's used by thousands of practitioners around the world and tens of thousands of wellness clients as well. That's at stephencabral.com/shop. So let us know how I can help. And of course, feel free to share this with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Appreciate you joining me here. Once again, as always, I appreciate the support. And right now, going on over at Equalife, you can save up to 25% off the entire store. Over 100 different products, protocols, and at-home lab tests, up to 25% off. Plus, this week, we are adding a brand new fun feature to the Equalife website, and that is our way of hopefully spreading the holiday cheer and also allowing you to save even more. To see what I mean, head on over to stephencabral.com/shop. Again, that's stephencabral.com/shop for up to 25% off store-wide, plus unique features only happening this week over at Equalife. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing day.